Oh
Right.
That's
my
it.
God, you guys. There's more coming out. I don't mean to interrupt. There's more coming out with
Sounds really
Eliza
gay.
Bleu.
Of course.
Of course there is.
There's in that thing that I just dropped in there. Yeah.
She's a grifter.
She's
Shocking.
she's bending over. My friend
Is
Tony,
she?
he's actually starting to get
Hang on,
recognized now.
Hang on, whoa! She's
Wait a
bending
minute,
over your
yeah.
friend Tony.
No.
Oh.
She
wow.
my friend Tony shows how in the top video, but it's he's got this whole thread going right now.
Play that
She's
beautiful bean
fucked.
footage.
Oh
It's
no
unavailable.
no! Go to YouTube because I thought it was
Man, I gotta
unavailable
go-
too.
I'm gonna refill
Hey,
my
come
Yes.
on. We ready, Steve.
Oh boy!
Sleep boy.
Is that a
It's where
Bruce
she
Lee
like
run?
bends over and stuff.
Yeah, she's a hoe.
Yeah.
She's a
No,
hoe.
she's a survivor, guys.
Sure she is.
I'm asking if you can come on.
What is she famous for? Just being a hoe? I mean, survivor?
She survived practically.
she survived, having several trains ran on her. Like, sounds good.
I mean, she might be a survivor. I don't know. I just like she's trying to hide past me right now.
That's essentially what she was trying to do, and she's been false striking people in the process.
Yeah, and
I've
that's it.
just never. I think it was fair, and you were who I was talking to when Eliza Bleu just showing up on my timeline, and I don't even follow her, and I'm like, bitch, stop! I don't care about you. I just
Right,
thought
because
she
remember I
was a
told you
fraud.
I said I was like she keeps showing up in these Twitter spaces, and then when Elon comes in, she takes over the conversation, and everything is about all the advocacy that she's doing and all this crap, and I'm just like, who is this girl? Now, if you just
Well,
like
it's
let
not
it
even-
play, but don't even play the music, Thermo, you'll see like she starts getting like real bends
Yeah, I don't wanna
over,
listen to
shakes
this
her
anyway.
ass, but yeah, she's
Why's she the only
something
white
nuts.
person there?
Is this the chick that was just on Timcast?
Yes,
Yeah,
it is. Yeah.
Yeah. She's been on
Okay,
TikTok a
yeah.
few times.
I
She's
tuned
done-
out.
Yeah.
As
Yeah,
soon
she's
as
she's
like,
done
Andrew
all the
Tate.
rounds.
She's a
Oh my
professional
God.
She's
victim,
been-
and you
she-
can't
yeah.
question anything.
No, she's done all of the right-leaning media circles and independent
Yes.
media circles. She's been on Hotep Jesus, Michael Malice, Jack Posobiec, heap of other stuff. She's in all of these media circles.
So
But
my
for
friend,
what? Yeah.
so this is so weird. So my friend Tony is the one. He calls himself like a Hollywood exile. Chrissy Mayer's fiance just tweeted and saying like,
Thought they were
yes,
married.
like Tony. I
Not
think they're
yet.
engaged. Yeah.
They're engaged.
But him saying like, I knew Tony or Zero Dark Tony OG was on this shit. I knew that he was asking the right questions, and now my friend Tony is like getting all this like these retweets and stuff, and it's so weird because he literally just texted me like 3 days ago, and he's like, "Hey, we got to catch up. Like, how's it been going?" But yeah, so Frank, Chrissy's fiance. Amazing how quick this all turned. Blocking and reporting anyone sharing public pics of her. You can find old videos on YouTube of her history under any of these memes. Eliza Bleu, Eliza Cuts, Eliza Seep, Eliza Knows. I know Zero Dark Tony was on it. Now I see. Now I see we're too. And you can. And he just messaged me. He's like, "Go look at my recent thread from 6 hours ago." He goes, and I go through all of it. This is
I don't think they're
insane.
in this one.
Never trust a bald white chick.
No, she's not
No,
bald.
she's not bald. It's just terrible short hair. Ladies, don't do that.
You know what
Yeah,
I'm
she's
fucking
got that
saying?
buzz cut
I
though.
don't
You
think
Cute
she's
to
gonna
me.
do the
There we go.
accent.
You see where she bent over? You can kind of see it.
Wow.
No,
Can
I
we
mean,
roll it
I don't
back
know
and
if you
zoom
guys
in?
ever watched through the whole first one, where
Yeah,
she's like
there's-
running and you can see everything jiggle, 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 jiggle. That one was a lot of ass.
I was seeing rumors in the thread of her having a deleted Pornhub account or something.
Well, yeah.
I
so
mean,
if you
even
go,
if
Or
she
did she?
does, so what? But at the
Yeah,
same
exactly.
time, like
Yeah.
her approach to all this is just
You
leaves a
guys,
lot
you
to be
guys. That's when
desired.
she was trafficked. So don't.
So
slut
if you-
Don't
shame
question
her.
it. Don't
Thermo,
question
if you
it.
go back to the thread, he
God
goes
damn.
through all of this shit now.
I just want to point out this. Like, this is the most.
Oh my!
Like, this is the most looked at part. Like this picture.
Terrible hair.
So look at what happened here. I'm just wondering if it's people seeking for like the
Yeah, let's see what happens here. It seems like it's a very
Zoom in.
important part of the video.
Enhance.
Jeez.
Wait, what happened?
Kissing my arms right there.
Wasn't me.
So if you go to that thread though, and then start going down, like I said, he there's all these videos that are popping out now that he found.
interviews. I mean, that's the problem when everything's online. Like, your shit's gonna get
99 balloon
shit's
lips
gonna
from
get dug
2021.
into.
Yeah, she was on Crigler. She was on Chrissy. She's been on all.
She's been on everything.
Yeah.
She was
Jay
on
Skills in
Pretties?
2012.
Mm-hmm.
Here she's showing her acting
mean,
ability with Jay Skills.
She had a
I just
good
find her
message.
super
I mean,
intolerable to
regardless.
listen to. I mean, I
No,
don't
she's
think
annoying
so.
as fuck.
'Cause she just sounds like
Oh
she's.
lol!
It
Shots
seems like her
fired!
intentions are in the
Shots
wrong
fired at
place.
Krigler.
What's it say?
Oh yeah.
Where?
No, here's the dumb as bag. Dumb as a bag of hammers. Coffee grifter Adam Krigler talking
Yeah.
out of his ass, softballing Eliza. Who was vegan?
I mean, that's
and
true,
doing
though.
social.
My friend Tony
He's
does not
retarded.
mince words, by the way.
Yeah,
He
Krieg was
just
cool.
says it like it is. Yeah, he's found a bunch of stuff because I guess he was, he knows a lot. I guess a lot of these folks that are in with the whole thing.
Well,
so.
as soon as she starts talking and being vague about, people and stuff like that, it's just like there's red flags. Your spidey sense is tingling if you're any kind of skeptic about this kind of shit. If you're not just another believe all wham and
I mean, the
He
biggest
said, he said
point
he
is
just texted me that he's still setting up his studio, but he'll totally come on next weekend
the
and go
point
through
for
everything
her
that he
is
knows.
Cool.
she was presented with some evidence of shit she did, and what her
And-
response was ban anybody who even posts or talks about it.
Yeah,
That's-
she went
that's-
fucking
that's-
total berserk.
That is dumb as shit on the internet. You are retarded for doing that because people are going to find out. It's Streisand effect
Streisand
times
effect.
1,000 on the
Yeah.
internet.
I
Like,
would
The
know.
internet will never let
I
you
get
go
it.
free, right?
Yeah. And you know what? That's the one thing that I will say is like, if you're not new in this Twitter sphere or in just in the internet sphere where you've had backlash, you learn very quickly you cannot do that. And that's where I think that in her world, not that it's in her defense, but I think that she's never had pushback on anything. So now that this is probably the first time that she's gotten pushback, because let's be honest, it looks like she hasn't gotten pushback when she was shaking her ass and wearing her outfits and stuff. And I'm not going to discredit that. If you were truly a human trafficking victim and you're wearing outfits like that, like I hold no judgment. Maybe it was at the time of your life that you questioned things or you were over sexualized and you thought that was okay. I don't know what you're thinking. However, the fact that, yes, like you said, that you had to immediately shut it down so quickly, that to me, if it was a true survivor, to me, I would have come out and said, you know what?
It's
That's a
fucking
time in
great
my
song.
life. That's a time yeah, I'm a survivor.
No,
That's a
there's
time in
song
my
called-
On
life.
that a long time ago, though.
There's a song called "True Survivor" by David Hasselhoff. That's fucking
Oh, from Kung
Oh.
Fury. From
Well,
Kung Fury.
I mean,
Yes,
she
yes,
might-
yes.
God.
But-
I don't want
but for real, she
discredit
would've-
her if she is a survivor, but
Well, she would have come out and
the way
said
she's
that's a
acting now
time that like I
doesn't-
was very confused. I thought that was okay. I realized now that it's not. I'm embarrassed by this stuff. Please, she would have something about it, but calling it unsolicited and unconsensual when there is nothing unconsensual about that.
Yep.
No.
So
She got-
Bulldoze-
I mean, and she probably doesn't even own the rights to any of the content in these
No.
videos, though.
Nope.
Like,
Bulldoze said
They
that
signed it
we
all
should
away.
listen
It's
to
not
her
her-
voice in this.
okay.
She has a voice in this?
Yeah,
Oh.
distracted.
Oh,
the
in this
least
one,
amount
yeah.
of love, which is so sad because I'll spend like months preparing
What
for
the
a
fuck?
Oh my God.
That doesn't sound like a white woman.
She has not sounded like that anytime I've ever heard her talk.
Just won't connect.
'Cause
Tim,
it's true.
The
I don't know if
one,
it's that people are wise to Photoshop or anything.
oh, she's
like that.
awful.
She's like
Tim,
putting on a
they-
black accent.
The
She
YouTube
didn't
sound like
videos
that with
you had
Elon Musk.
posted,
Nope.
there were some comments on it that were like 8 or 9 years old. And they were all like, I can't believe you. Why do you sound like this? Like, what have you turned into?
Oh,
Like,
God.
you think you're from the ghetto? Just all this stuff, like people calling her out on it 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I thought it was funny.
Yeah, she's a grifter.
Wait,
I
can we
tell you
keep
exactly what it
listening?
is.
I want to hear what she has to say
You
about.
want to be a wigger. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
We're 3 hours in. 3 hours
Yay
in.
for the
You
win.
can- You can say that.
Wait, can we
He's
can we
right,
can we
though.
listen to a little bit
Oh, yeah.
more of it, Thermo?
She wanted to
I wanna
be
hear-
Amber Rose, is what she wanted to be. She wanted to be Amber Rose with a giant fat ass and short hair.
Who
and
is
talking
Amber
black.
Rose?
A giant fat ass white
Oh,
girl.
Amber
who
Rose.
talks
Oh
black.
yeah. Yeah. She was with what
Very
was
gross.
It?
Very attractive to
Yeezy.
blacks.
Was it Yeezy? Yeezy, and then like some other dude.
Probably.
She's a big time hoe who also has like that same kind of haircut as
Yep.
Eliza Bleu.
Yep.
Which is kind of weird. Eliza Bleu, Amber Rose, like you have a color for a last name.
Just saying.
That's who she looks like.
see you.
Yes.
Yeah. Little weird. Little sketch. Sketch McGetch.
See, Elb mentioned the ghetto, and my brain immediately
Oh,
started
geez.
like,
Okay, yeah,
"In
I
a
see.
cold and gray Chicago
Don't forget about Black
morning,
China.
another little
Or wait,
baby child
is that-
was born
Don't
in a
let's forget about Black
ghetto."
China. Let's
That's
never.
inverted.
I don't.
The color,
let's
the
not-
colors first.
Conversation, a little
Fucking not.
more action.
God, it's disgusting, bitch.
Can we see more of this talk from 6 years ago?
Yeah, let's see that.
In the
Can
in
we
the
pan
ghetto.
down a little bit?
In the ghetto.
Goop.
But yeah, it makes me bummed out kind of because
Kinda.
I put so much work and effort into my actual photo shoot.
Jesus Christ.
So what I actually did as a result of that was start
bras
to
tonight.
cut out the middleman.
Shame.
So
Yes.
I stopped shooting with photographers as much, and I definitely go use any type of like editors or anything like that. Mainly,
You sound like a
99.9% of my photographs now are self-inflicted or self-taken.
Self-inflicted.
Yeah, so I do almost all my promotional stuff by myself now. I just
She
find
got
that
some
it's the
thick-ass
best
arms, though.
way to connect with people. They like the real look, which is
Oh, do
cool.
they?
Yeah,
I mean,
that's what I was
vibe
saying.
with it
She
too,
got
whatever
cool.
you guys like, but
It's
The
cool.
You know, it's
description
just
is
hard
the
when I
description
spend
is
a lot-
literally Chicago curvy model Eliza Knows sits down with DJ Smalls.
God. No, he was sex trafficking her into talking like this and doing this video.
Why can't you just go by Eliza?
He's a
Like,
monster.
she stays with like Eliza Knows, Eliza Blue, Eliza like. She's given Eliza's a bad name. See, El?
I don't know any Elizas.
Eliza knows I refused a booking request to have sex for $150,000.
Eliza knows
What?
that shit. Are you kidding me? Nobody's paying her that fucking money. Are
Also,
you kidding
my
me?
friend Tony said he might find a way to rig it where he's not on camera, but he'll definitely come on and talk more in like the next 15 minutes if you guys want.
Do you mean like
'cause-
on a mic in a
Sure.
in a PFP?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That
oh yeah.
works.
Mhm.
Not
I
particularly
mean-
difficult.
Who would ever
Breaking news. I'll send it out on Twitter.
Yeah.
I mean, shit.
Fucking monsters. Put it out on Twitter.
Let's put it out on Twitter.
Oh boy. I ain't scared.
He's
Fuck.
allegedly got a lot of stuff.
I'm really sad that I haven't heard more about Ralph just wallowing in Nick fucking. I'm very sad. I need to watch some Ralph content, honestly. Just saying.
Maybe she said something here that was interesting because
Streets or Dirk or anybody like
The
that.
streets are dark.
King Louis, anybody like that, you know.
I thought she meant Dirk.
I
I'm a
can't
woman
imagine she's
that's
ever said
Chicago-based.
anything
You got my
interesting in her
Elvis
life.
from
playlist
the
running
streets
through
in
my
my
head.
essence.
Wait, hang on.
Ooh,
Pause it.
That's
Pause
my
it.
freaks.
Pause it.
Essence? You don't want to skip over my essence?
I
You're
wanna
a
hear more about
woman
her
from
essence.
Chicago speaking from the streets. What fucking streets, bitch? The suburbs? Yeah, with all of our drive-by shootings. Please tell me you're either from Inglewood, you're from the west side, or you're from the south side near Obama land. Because
She busted
telling
it.
me you're from Chicago from the streets, honey, you actually are a walking, talking
But she's not.
like white
Is-
privilege. Yes, Chicago streets, you wouldn't go fucking near them, bitch. You know why? I'm a white woman and I don't even go near them. Okay?
But
Bitch.
did I read somewhere that her dad is a congressman or was a congressman and her mom
Oh,
is like
really?
a professor at a university or
wouldn't be
something?
surprised.
Like I felt like I read that somewhere, but I might be thinking of someone else.
I can't
That
with
sounds
this bitch.
perfect, honestly. That sounds perfect. Yeah, Chicago.
Please, I want to hear more about. I want to hear more about the streets of my hometown and how. Yeah, please tell me.
Chicago's the worst place I've ever
and
been,
that's
and
my
I was
vibe,
born in
and
half-ass
how
raised in
somebody
Detroit.
wants to
So
interpret that
Oh, yeah, you know.
is not my problem.
I know Chicago
It's
shit.
my
It's
my
horrible.
duty as an artist to
It's my duty.
give my vision and
Artist.
expose my vision to people.
Yeah,
and
expose
let
your
them
vision, baby.
interpret it how they want to.
Show us
If
your
they-
visions.
If
She's
they
exposing
if
something.
they feel disrespectful towards that, that's fine.
Yeah, her
I
father
wouldn't-
is
I mean,
Rich
I really don't even
Morthland,
look at the DM. I got an assistant. Looks
Morthland?
at
used to be
so
Morthland,
we're cool on that.
who used to be a
but,
Republican
I mean,
politician
if they
in
feel
Illinois.
disrespectful,
Yes.
you know,
Oh,
I
Lord.
do go through seasons where people
My
are
friend
more
Tony's gonna come on in about 10
disrespectful than others.
minutes.
It depends on who I'm dating or what pops
Are you cool with
off
that,
in
Thermo?
pop culture.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah. But other than that, people are pretty cool.
How do you deal with
Are they?
comments, like hateful comments?
They get deleted.
You're gonna love him,
My-
Thermo.
My girl deletes them.
Her girl
My
deletes
girl.
them and reports them and bans them for life.
If it's negative, vulgar, of course. I mean, why wouldn't I?
Oh.
I mean, that doesn't belong on my page. My page is about positivity. My
God, this
pages
chick is such a
where I
fucking
really
grifter,
Wow.
man.
Are about positivity. Vibes are good.
I bet
Vibes-
she's kicking
vibes be good.
herself. I bet she's kicking herself because I think she started the whole Survivor thing before OnlyFans took off.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I reckon
Yeah.
she would have been deep into the OnlyFans thing otherwise.
she,
on.
she is.
She's like,
She has
God
got
damn,
so
I
much.
missed it.
I'm doing a bit of
There's so much
research, quote, unquote.
past bullshit on her that, like, why does she think she's gonna get away with this shit
'Cause she's a
without any
fucking
sort of
retard.
questioning? She hasn't like formulated a like a base defense about like this. Like, for real, this is 1.2 million subs on this dude, DJ Small Eyes.
75,000 views.
What's the videos on
and
this?
It's only from 2016.
Yeah,
Look,
I mean, she's been around
views
for
only
like 10,
6,000.
15 years, and then she's now like, oh, I was trafficked in like all these videos. Like, you don't look particularly distressed.
Yeah,
You don't look uncomfortable. You don't look a little bit weird. You look like you pretend to be a fucking black chick, but you're not. It's just kind of weird. Kind of fucking weird.
Yeah, she'll start a clips channel, Costy,
Oh,
just to
shit.
compete with Elb.
Elb, you're in trouble.
She'll be Eliza Clips next.
Wow. Like I said, I'm sharing this out everywhere because this was obviously
Put it out on Twitter.
that's what I am. Zero Dark
Sorry.
Tony,
Sorry.
my
I'm
buddy
sorry.
who's literally
I was about to
coming
do the
on.
Ralph line, but
Who's literally going to be coming on here in about 10 to 12 minutes. He said he's driving home. Has all the exposure on this.
I hope he's not wearing
And-
pants because none of us are.
I am.
I am.
Take your fucking
I am.
pants off. What are you doing? What are you
I'm
guys
on-
doing
You guys,
here?
her dad
this a
is definitely a
tradition?
politician.
Yeah, her dad is.
I'm
Her
trying to
dad,
find
Who?
out.
Richard Morthland, is a
Eliza
former
Bleu.
Wearing
politician.
pants.
Eliza
Like,
Bleu.
she
Yeah.
doesn't
Dad.
come
Yeah.
from the streets.
Eliza
Thank
blew
you.
everybody in the fucking black. Sorry.
Who's
Sorry.
your dad?
Sorry.
Richard Morthland is her dad.
Stop it.
No.
Stop
Richard,
know
it.
who
Richard,
that is?
Richard Morthland is Eliza Blue's father.
So he's a member
know
of
who
the
that is?
Rock
Stop
Island
it.
County Board and served as a
Yes.
Republican member
Two
of the
daughters,
Illinois
including
General
Eliza
Assembly.
Bleu. Yes. two
Rock
daughters.
Island is on the opposite fucking side of Illinois. It is nowhere near Chicago.
A few minutes later.
You gotta be worth
Tony!
seeing, you know.
Tony, welcome.
Tony!
Welcome.
One second.
Tony!
We didn't have the right track for you, unfortunately.
So
Or
as
any
you're
at
getting
all.
stuff set, Tony, these are all my mates. Some are from Australia. That's not a real country. But I noticed we were talking about the Eliza Bleu stuff. And here, lo and behold, I'm going through Twitter and I see that Chrissy Mayer, her fiance, quote tweets you and is like, yeah, Zero Dark Tony was on this shit from the very beginning. And
Got me?
now
You
it's
hear me
all
now?
coming to fruition.
Yeah, we can hear
Okay, good, fantastic. Hello, everybody. How you doing?
Hello.
you.
And so
Great.
yeah,
Thank
they
you so much for having me on. By
Yeah.
the way, I appreciate it.
and they said that like from the get-go that you were the one that exposed all this shit. And mind you, that first tweet where you expose her was like December 22nd, 2022.
Right.
And
yeah,
now
we're-
the shit's
we're back a little bit.
so what's been going on?
Well, you know, a couple of years back, I had experienced some of this before. This is not the first time that I've seen a individual claim that they have some trafficking experience. I don't even know if that's the thing, but having dealt with several different creators who I've seen, like one a couple years ago. What clicked in my head when I saw the thing with Eliza was that I was interacting with her, and then one of her people sort of came into the chat and said, "Oh no, she's actually helped save my niece," which is exactly the same thing that I heard from a previous girl by the name of Allie, goes by Odyssey. And these people definitely have the ability to weaponize their crowd. So what I noticed was the way she was responding to some of the questions that she was getting just did not jive with a lot of my experience with seeing trafficking victims speak about. For example, I left something in the thread about Eliza's website here. What was the name of the lady who went on with her? Anyway, she had a trafficking victim that she was
Nisa
interviewing.
Hamilton.
Yes, Nisa Hamilton. That's right. Thank you so much. And she has details. She has times. She has places. Every time I have heard anyone who has legitimately been in this kind of situation has a story. They have a through line, details, names. Was it an aunt? Was it an uncle? Well, Nisa's story is very unique in that she was in the child care adoption system. I believe it was in Texas. So she has all these stories. Eliza's never shared any of that. And I started to look at some of the interviews that she did, and she's smiling and laughing. And I did make a comment about one of the particular interviews about the affect she has on her voice, right? I mean, the joke I made in the thread was that she sounded like Wiz Khalifa. But
Yeah, we watched that clip earlier, and it's
right.
Literally just
Isn't that
watched it.
crazy? Like all of a sudden she's
It's
talking like this, and now
terrible.
she's with Dr. Drew. She's a completely different person. You can look up to see that her father was some kind of assemblyman in Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
Just look that
And
up too.
I just posted a couple other parts on that thread, and I just find more and more and more. And now you start to get into a sort of side rabbit hole involving Elon Musk and Elon Musk's mother, who is represented by CAA, who is also representing J.P. Sears, Jordan Peterson, who Eliza has mentioned quite a bit. So when these things start to come out and reveal themselves, well, they're connected. How they're connected or why they're connected, well, that remains to be seen, but they're connected. And why is someone like J.P. Sears or Jordan Peterson involved in an agency that is also, they represent the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, the WEF. They're all WEFers. But essentially, that's what you're seeing there. And I put some of those links in the thread too, leading all the way up to Gerard Way, who I don't know when exactly this was being. What was that? Was that a chat alert or something?
That might have just been you.
No,
okay,
just on you. I didn't hear anything.
All right. There's a new setup. You guys are the first ones to see my new setup, by the way. This is the first time I've actually busted it out.
I'm jealous of that shelf and the on-air sign.
Oh, thank you so much. Right on Amazon,
slick.
right there. Amazon Prime.
Nice.
So, and seeing this sort of develop, we're getting to a point where now we discover that the timeline that she creates, in her own words, during the time that she was with Gerard Way and Jeffree Star, and this is the period of time where she was, trafficked. And there are a lot of other people who
She's banging
put
Jeffree
together
Star.
threads.
I thought he was gay.
Well, Jeffree
No,
Star.
no. It was
no,
a MySpace group.
Yeah, it was sort of like this whole MySpace thing and My Chemical Romance, and then you see her saying the N-word to Jeffree Star in one of the threads, and it's funny because they've got a couple young girls with them as they're walking through this hallway, and isn't that trafficking? Are you roping girls for these weird parties with Gerard, who is also Joe Rogan's cousin, by the way? Gerard Way.
I'm
I
just
do want
picturing
to
your
preface.
face on the Charlie Day meme with the board and all the strings.
Pepe Silvio.
Yeah, I feel like that's where we're at right now.
Yeah, Rogan and Gerard are cousins. Yeah, I've heard that. He's actually said as much.
I do want
I
to. I do
posted
want to
some articles.
preface this as well too. Like I've known Tony now. Like I said, I'm not on camera because I'm still actually setting up my studio. But I've known Tony now for what 4 or 5 years now.
Mm-hmm.
5, 6 years, a while.
Been a while.
And you, we would always talk about this stuff like late night about all of the stuff going on in Hollywood and how all of these people like there's been a shift in the grift of a lot of people where they have gone on and I think you and I actually first became really good friends in like 2015 where you saw a lot of the grifters come out for the Trump campaign, even for, Hillary Clinton. And you started to see a lot of Hollywood really morph. And what's interesting is with Eliza Bleu is she comes out with this video around 2016 where she's like, I grew up on the main streets of Chicago and like me and my girls, and like we did this. And you're just like, wait,
Hi. Yeah.
I'm from Chicago. Like I'm a white girl. I would never. Do you know where the mean streets are, bitch? Because you grew up in like Rock Island is where it looks like, which is on the opposite side of the state. But but just to say,
I mean, she has that affect though. She's
Right.
clearly from the ghetto.
Yes,
Exactly.
clearly
But
from the
it-
main streets of Chicago.
my
Been
point is,
run through
I
by the
want to.
ghetto, at least.
My
I'll let
point
you
is,
say it.
I want to give you this credibility because you've been around, like
That's
you
so true.
know, these bands, you know Hollywood, you've seen the inside, you've seen all this stuff, and you've opened my mind on a lot of what's gone on in Hollywood behind the scenes. And that's why when you came out with this and I saw your tweet, I was like, holy shit! If Tony's saying this, what is going on?
Yeah, I mean, it speaks to a lot of, I think, there's a whole concept of what is the term controlled opposition, right? You hear this term so much, so loosely used, but, controlled being paid. What happened here that's interesting with Jordan Peterson, especially with her mentioning Jordan Peterson, is that his CAA speaker card was listed about a month ago. Okay. And CAA pulled it off the website. However, he still links it through his site. He's still represented by them, but they pulled him off the site. Now, CAA also represents Mae Musk, who is Elon's mother.
Do they also represent Taylor Lorenz, or is that United
They do.
Talent?
Yes.
I'm pretty sure they do, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
you could look through their speakers and you could see all kind. I mean, Beto O'Rourke. A lot of people who are right on the polar opposite scale of what is actually being discussed in this sort of geopolitical environment that everybody gets so heated in, right? So you look at someone like J.P. Sears, who's going up and speaking against the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation all day, yet CAA represents them. So also they represent the Bidens. They represent the Bidens literary, right? So all the books that they write and anything they put out literary is represented by CAA for the Bidens. This is a obvious, and it's so clear that this is the Hollywood hierarchy have absolute control through the media. Now, there are editors that are in Hollywood that sign NDA agreements because to this day they are still using subliminal messaging in all kinds of commercial applications. So, having all that come together, you sort of see how Hollywood is not necessarily the puppet. It's not necessarily the puppeteer, but it's the strings that's holding it together. And that's what I'm seeing.
And so how does Eliza Bleu fit into all this?
Well, she, I think, isn't it interesting with what you said about her timing and when she just started to break out into this? Because you could see that she was trying several times, several different websites to get some kind of recognition. She was coming out over and over again, speaking out and then sort of, latching on to Elon, who, to me, it does not surprise me that the due diligence was not taken into these people, right? Right? Why would he not look into these people just a little bit before he's putting his reputation and this whole thing about the CP and all this stuff that needs to be dealt with on social media, right? But when you're talking about Eliza Bleu, Cuts, Seep, Matterhorn, Tang, Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt, whatever the fuck her name is this week, right? You got, you know, you have 6 different versions of her. And each one is, it almost looks like we have a did situation. Like we might have just like a fragmented individual. I'm no doctor. I'm not giving medical advice. This is just an opinion that someone could possibly be experiencing some kind of fragmentation that they just might need some help. And I would never want her to be deplatformed, but this needs to be corrected. And if it's corrected properly, this could be, a little bit of a hero arc for her. She could just sort of come out and go, hey, I was messed up, but I wanted to do something about it. And, I wasn't trafficked in Pinkberry by Gerard Way.
I think that's the most likely scenario, honestly. Like
that was very kind of you to do that, instead of assume that she's just trying to play everyone with these different aliases.
Right.
So
I've seen a ton of her over like the last 2 years. I've seen a lot of her, and like none of it has been like it's been basically on her point that she's been doing recently. Like it's been on this human trap. It hasn't been like weird and like it hasn't been off kilter. Like I think like who was it like a day or two ago said like she kind of just got caught into this like, oh well, this is what happened, and she was like, oh yeah, definitely, and then she just had to kind of run with it. And it kind of feels like that to me.
Yeah.
Like I don't really, at this point, it does not seem like she had been trafficked. Maybe she has, but it still doesn't seem like it. It's weird.
Well, I mentioned Pinkberry because during that time, also just real quick, just during that time, there is a video where they are all in Pinkberry just having a blast. During that time, she mentioned she was being trafficked.
Yeah. Well, lots of girls say that. Lots of people say that. Lots of porn stars say that. Lots of people say that. Like, oh, this was like the worst time of my life, and then they'll find videos, and it's like, oh, you kind of look fine there. No, I had a gun to my head. Did you? I'm not sure. Maybe you just regret it. I don't know.
It's also very suspicious. Her age thing and the timeline, nothing fits. Like nothing fits at all. How old is she? Like, was this in? She says she was 15, but that would put it in, 1996.
Right.
And nothing else lines up. Like, and then you have to say, well, is any of it
From my
real?
resureach, she's 41. From what I've seen, she's 41.
Well, according to
pretty close.
Like police records, she's 41. Her arrest record says 1981 was a year of birth.
I haven't looked into what that arrest was for. Did anybody find that out?
Couldn't find what it was for. Only that she was arrested in Cook County.
Right. But that was the thing where I first saw, where I was like, holy shit, hang on. Zero Dark Tony. I fucking know this guy. I was like, I just was texting with him like 3 days ago how we have to catch up. And here I see where you post her mugshot and she tweets at you like, well, you could at least show the pretty one or whatever. But it seemed like even then, like December 22nd, 2022, which again is less than a month ago, or actually no, it to the date a month ago right now where we're at least if you're on East Coast time, she was telling you, of course you don't, but it was one of these things like where she's telling you like, oh, you don't have the right things, you don't have the right info. And so we are in the sphere of our friend Brittany Venti.
Oh yeah, I love Brittany, by the way. She is great.
Yes. So Brittany,
I am mixed.
She really took this. I DM'd her a few weeks back, and she
like and hate Brittany.
And you got to look at it like this. Brittany has been doing this for a minute. I don't know how long you guys have been doing it. I don't know, but
Brittany's been around for a very long time. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think for her
is
to
an interesting thing to expound upon. What is this?
Right. Well, I think like anybody else with this topic, you're really not going to lean in to it.
She has not been hunting down fucking traffickers for 50 years. She's just been doing this for like 3, maybe a year and a half, 2 years.
Right.
Tops.
Right, but a lot of people
not saying anything. I like Brittany, and I also dislike her.
Stop interrupting for a second.
Right. No.
What do you mean? I've been talking for like an hour and a half. What the fuck are you talking about?
So the thing about seeing these people do this over and over again, it's almost like there's a pattern. It's almost like you could teach a course on this, right? By seeing it so many times, right?
Sorry,
You find the right time, you find the right person, you find the right place, and people are going to, and look, some of these followers, some of these people, out of their mind, types. You know,
You don't say.
a little bit too hyper focused on the thing, right? And a little too much in the defense of some of these people when it's really so clear. I mean, it would take, you know, you could have a 5-year-old come in here and look up some of this stuff and see what's happening. But with Brittany, she grabbed it right by the horns. She went into it. She softballed it a little at first because, you know, look, nobody wants any problems. Nobody wants to start up nothing. That's not my style. But when she went in and started to talk about it, she was giving Eliza the benefit of the doubt, which I thought was great. You know, give her a chance. Maybe you could sort of, you know, lead her into a discussion with you publicly so people can ask questions, sort of get things done. Then after not only Brittany, but Chrissy, who has had her on 2 times, 1 time with Brittany, she blocked them. She blocked Brittany and Chrissy. So you look at this like, oh, this is this person's sense of loyalty. And now it leads me to believe that there is something larger that she is concerned with. There's something out there that is a freaking, you know, it's not just the fact that she was donated to by someone who was actually arrested, a teacher who was arrested, and, you know, it's in the thread somewhere, but you have all these things coming together, and I think there's something big. I have a feeling, and this is just me, and it's a long shot, and maybe people are going to hate me for this, but I feel like we're going to find some back page stuff going on with her. That's just my feeling, you know.
Yeah, look, I was saying before you came on, it feels like if she weren't doing this thing now, she'd be doing OnlyFans because she's happy to explore her sexuality prior to that. Like that seems to be the trajectory. But she found this, like, I don't want to call it a grift because, like, maybe like she's genuine. She seems to be genuine about this stuff, but maybe she found this grift
she's
and
passionate
now
about it. I don't know if she's
that door is
legitimate
closed
about it.
Yeah.
Well, I think I don't know if it was you know, I was listening to another show earlier while I was kind of listening to you and coming in here. I think it was on something that Chrissy was on now because they were talking about this too, and they had mentioned, you know, you don't have to be trafficked to be a concerned citizen to want to do something about it.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to be trafficked. You don't have to be involved in great trauma. You know, there are a lot of people that I've spoken to that have organizations that have never been trafficked. They've never been sexually assaulted. They've never had any kind of situation like that in their life, but they just want to help. You know, and there are actually people like that left.
And I feel like it's those people that feel like they have to explain, like, or give this persona of, oh, I was trafficked, so that's why, you know, that's why I have a stake in this. It's like, no, you can actually just be a good freaking person. But this is where I get angry because it's like when people fake, oh, I was trafficked, therefore I have a stake in this, and then you find out that they're not. You're like, you literally just shat on the entire movement of helping victims of human trafficking, you know?
Did you say earlier that her arrest was, or someone had said her arrest, like the arrest happened, they took mugshots, then she realized that she was a victim during the arrest?
No, her like, so there was we saw a tweet before that like someone posted her mugshot and she said that the first mugshot was taken when she reported, like, she went to the hospital and reported like a rape of herself, like a sexual assault, and when the police came, they arrested her because she had an open warrant.
Yeah, they don't do that.
Yeah, the story
I
doesn't.
I would think that
story doesn't add up.
Look, I wouldn't put it past like cops
What
to
year
do
was
that.
that? Do you guys know what year that arrest was?
Is that
2016.
2016, but I don't know what the warrant was. Can't find out what the warrant was for.
Yeah.
But
it was April 2016.
She acknowledges that she had an open warrant out on herself, though,
and it was in Cook County.
Yes.
So well, Cook County is where her father.
Yeah.
That's where her father was. He was the assemblyman from 2011 to 2013, January.
Seems like there wasn't a warrant.
So maybe that could have had some
There
influence
was a warrant.
in this kind of thing, just being like, hey, let's just not have this arrest on here because of Mr. Northland.
When did she really start this?
Well, and if her
2018-ish?
wanting to keep things
2019?
under wraps, I could be it being about like, you know, any blowback on her parents. Her mom's a dean at a college or something.
Did you hear her with that accent? She doesn't give a fuck about her parents. She does not give a shit. She's
Hey,
rebelling
they
against
support her as long as
parents.
she doesn't do Snoop Dogg videos, so it's all good.
She did though. Might as well have. What's the difference?
And
Rap
apparently they
video,
have
Snoop
2
Dogg, what the
daughters.
fuck's the difference?
So Eliza has a sister somewhere.
Yeah, she has a sister. I can't find information. I can't find details about her, but Richard Northland's.
He's still alive.
Yeah. His
Boy,
Wikipedia
I
said
wonder,
that,
I
yeah,
wonder
he
where
has
we
2
could
children.
find a really cool, legitimate journalist to call him up. Where would we find him in this room right here?
Maybe one from Chicago.
Perhaps
Yeah.
one from Chicago. Boy, that would be the ultimate.
That would be
get.
so convenient if we had that.
I mean,
Does anybody know anyone?
I will say this in light of the Steven Crowder Daily Wire record, DC is a one-party consent state, so I could easily record that conversation if I wanted to.
Wow. Yeah, I'm in California. I can't do that.
You need both parties' consent.
Yep.
But
so not only that, but some of these other people that are attached to this story is why can someone get in touch with Elon's office for a statement? Something like that.
Well, that was one thing that never made sense to me is why did Elon offer so much of his time to her, and then I would go and I would try to listen to those Twitter spaces, and I'm just like, this isn't nothing. It was just so she could talk about herself, not talk about the good work that Twitter's. I don't know, and
Twitter
it
hasn't
just
done
seemed
it.
weird.
That's the problem.
It just seemed weird.
Here's my thing is even if she's being a fakey weirdo, not really been sex trafficked, I've heard a decent amount of shit that she's done in the past, and I'm like, oh, that seems fair. You're bringing awareness, but the problem goes when you're at this point and you're like, well, you've been called out, and then you just fucking do what she's done and fucking try to ban people for she could have easily made this all go away and be like, yeah, I wasn't proud of that. I kind of felt pressured. Whatever.
Right.
She could have made lots of excuses for this. Lots of excuses. No problem. No big deal.
Any good work.
But she didn't.
Any good work that she would have done is now just being overshadowed by this really petty.
That's the whole point. Yeah. She could have easily just
thing.
brushed this away as this was something that I didn't
Misspent
like, or I
youth.
felt like I had to do. Yeah, you could easily fucking brush this away. She could have went to Brittany and be like, on a reply, be like, yeah, I didn't, this was 10 years ago. I was wrong. I don't believe in this anymore. I was
a
whatever.
stupid kid when I said that.
Yeah, whatever she could have done. Instead, they went nuclear and just fucking ruined everything. Are you retarded? Why did you do this?
Because of her timeline, she screwed herself with the timeline. That
Nobody
video
would've
does not
cared,
fit her
though.
timeline at all. I'm trying to explain the way.
And did you notice her appearance on Dr. Drew? She looked completely pinned.
She was on Dr.
Her
Drew.
eyes were dilated completely.
Well, you could walk that the same way. Be like, well, I was just a different place. I was all fucked up. You could easily walk that back if you were not ridiculous.
Yeah, look at that.
Although, when was this? Was this 10 months ago or something, or was this 3 years ago?
Let me see. I have it right here. Let's look. That was March 20th, 2021. Was that interview?
But, yeah.
She looks like she always does to me. She really fucked up. I can't tell.
It's when if you listen to some of that interview, her words were definitely slurry, and she said a couple things in here. In some of her, she just could not get the words out properly. Right? It appeared that she was intoxicated.
Can we listen to a hot second of
They
it, Thermo?
used force, fraud, and coercion. So, unfortunately, That is my story. And also, unfortunately, it is the story that we see predominantly in the United States of America when we're talking about human trafficking. Is we get a grooming process, folks with a pre-established relationship, and that same age demographic when we're talking about female late teen sex trafficking.
And in my experience, the populations I deal with, at least, so often these young ladies, these children, have their own childhood sexual abuse story of some type, or other sorts of abuse patterns in their family of origin.
Wait,
Dr. Drew was my doctor in the 90s, actually. I went to Las Encinas for some drug treatment. It's true. I went to Las Encinas for drug treatment. And Dr. Drew was my doctor. He has touched my member. He has touched my penis. Right? He has had me turn and cough. I know him intimately. So it looks to me, with the discussions that I've had with him, it just looks to me, they were cold. It just looks to me like
they always are.
He doesn't believe her, right? Like, I get a sense of disbelief from him here. And someone mentioned the quartering in the chat. One of the reasons I was able to sort of piece some of this together is because I started to ask Adam Krigler about his interviews, and Adam blocked me. Right?
Really?
Interesting.
I see apathy
and then,
from Dr. Drew because he's...
and then I see that they have this coffee. Right. I see that they have this coffee brand, and, there's a lot of coffee that is actually connected to trafficked child slave labor, right?
Yeah,
so,
that's true.
Jeremy doesn't want to speak to me. He doesn't want to talk to me.
Jeremy's mad at Adam.
It's interesting, though, that Jeremy did actually draw attention to it, like, because Jeremy posted the info as well and ate the strike. So I don't know that Jeremy's connected in any way.
Not through this, through his coffee, unknowingly.
Through coffee.
I think he's gay. I don't think he necessarily knows what he's talking about with the origin of his coffee, and I don't think he knows anything about the coffee industry.
Let's talk.
Oh no, absolutely not.
None of these people who have just magically acquired or created a coffee brand know anything. They're just repackaging and relabeling.
Well, you mean they're
other
not
people's
growing
coffee
in the backyard? Weird.
Well, there's a big problem with child slave labor in the coffee industry. Mm-hmm. So that's so ironic that now this is happening. And trust me, with what Jeremy did, it didn't benefit anybody but Jeremy, because he went right on YouTube and he really said a couple things. If you want to go to his recent thing, if we could look at that, there are a couple things in there that I noticed that are he is just so full of it. I'm sorry,
I will
always
say this. He's like that. I can't take him seriously.
He doesn't know.
I have, in the last 25 minutes, I have gotten messages from over 45 different people saying that, hey, this is blowing out of proportion. Eliza Bleu is real. We want to help her. This isn't helping. And you know what? Like, here's my deal on this, okay? Because Tony and I have had these conversations before, especially when I lived in El Paso. He knows how I dealt with trafficking victims and all that other stuff, especially when it came to the Catholic Church. And if you truly are a victim of trafficking, or you're truly trying to help the community or help just in all of this stuff, you should then have zero problem explaining, like, hey, this is how many victims that I've helped. These are the types of victims that I help. Here's where you can help and donate, or here's where you can go to join the conversation, what have you. And we have yet to see any of that, really. When I was helping kids that were getting molested by priests in El Paso, and that eventually spread to around the country, I would tell them, hey, a lot of it's opensecrets.com or opensecrets.org, or, contact your local officials or whatever. You always have a place where you push people to go to, right? Whereas this, and this is where I was, not from what I'm seeing, no. I mean,
I can't say I've paid attention enough to know. I'm just saying
I haven't either, but from what I'm seeing on her Twitter, and I'll just pull it up here really quick. Eliza Bleu. All right, I'll pull it up.
Thank you.
And mind you, people are now doing the Streisand effect. They are now showing hashtag Brittany Venti. They are
Brittany
Hashtag
loving
free
this shit.
Brittany
She's so
Venti, yeah.
happy about this.
Yep.
It's right
and
on my feed, too.
they're tweeting at Elon Musk. Let me see if I'm blocked.
This isn't how people who have been who want to help other people act. This
Correct.
isn't how it's done. Those who have been through it, this isn't how they act.
Here we go. Eliza Bleu, human trafficking survivor advocate. The link, elizabluepodcast.com.
Oh no.
Oh, excuse me.
Bless you.
Yeah. That is where I know, like, for example, I have a number of friends that are Navy SEALs.
Was
and
she on with
they're
Zuby?
very-
I'm sorry, Zuby, right? Zuby interviewed her.
Zuby's not a Navy SEAL, is he?
No.
No. I just saw Zuby's
British.
but I think he interviewed her. I don't know.
Maybe.
Zuby probably has. Hang on,
Yeah,
Zuby.
Zuby's
Eliza.
interviewed tons of people.
She's a pretty face and she's a professional victim. I mean,
But my point though is that, like,
She's
I
gonna go
have
far in
friends
life.
I have friends that are Navy SEAls that
Yep.
are very much for anti self-deletion, all this other stuff, and on their profiles, even if you go to like Jack Carr, who created the Terminal List, who a friend of mine was in it. A friend of mine was in Terminal List. They all have like saveanavyseal.org or whatever the hell it is. They have these foundations where they want to save people, not like, hey, buy my new book, because they figure, go help these people first and then come and buy our book. You know what I mean? If that makes
Remember
sense.
that girl that we dealt with, Farron, who was saying that she was a detective or whatever? Was kicking
I was
in doors
just gonna say
That chick,
CJ
yeah.
fucking Dunning.
CJ Dunning. Hey.
CJ fucking Dunning. Yes.
CJ Dummy. What's her last name?
CJ Dunning. Yeah,
CJ
she's
Dunning.
hot. Yeah, but she came out in
She could get it.
Colorado.
She could get it, bro. If she wasn't crazy, she could get it.
Yeah, and
we need
Tony
to
and
put a
I.
face to a name.
This is actually how Tony and I first became very good friends, because we had a mutual
Eskimo buddies.
friend, and no, we had mutual
true.
friends. Sam, can you just shut the fuck up for a second?
Damn! He finally got Farron to tell him to shut the fuck up. Normally it's
Oh
Elba.
God, this is actually serious. This woman was going around telling people that she actually was hunting down child predators
Kicking
in
in the
Denver,
doors.
Colorado. Yes, she was kicking in doors, that she was grabbing people out by the hair, that all of this stuff was happening. And me and Tony were like, hang on a second. Like, let's just look some shit up.
Did you grab her by
And-
the hair?
No. And so
chinny
Tony
chin
and I started going through, and I was like, you look up these
rub
different
down.
states. I'll look up. Shut the fuck up.
No.
Hey, she was like a wrestler. Remember? She
I'm
was also like
serious.
a
Yes.
wrestler.
Like, this was
Yeah.
actually a serious story. This woman was going around.
You
telling
guys
people that she
wrestler?
was-
Holy shit! This is getting better by the second.
Damn.
Oh, man, she's gonna kill you.
Tim.
How much jello did you use?
Fucking hours.
Thank you.
You've been talking all fucking stream. I'm gonna have some interjections, and it's gonna be fun. Tell us about the wrestling match now.
Anyways,
The
but
wrestling
yeah,
match.
someone said that they're doing that. You know what's going to end up to someone who's
Dave,
doing
were
that.
you in the wrestling match?
They
Tim,
end up
shut the
just-
fuck up.
they-
Like, for real,
they
though.
end up being scalped or basically had been given a necktie and shit. They wouldn't be walking around being able to say, "Oh, I went in and hunted down these people."
Oh,
And
Dave,
that's
Dave,
the
that
whole
girl
point
Odyssey. That girl Odyssey was saying that she was literally running from cartel hitman. Let me tell you something about cartel hitman. She was running from them for years. From cartel hitman, you're running from a cartel hitman for years. Fuck out of here, okay?
Exactly.
They'll get you in
And-
10
and-
fucking minutes, especially if you're posting on Instagram. And she would have this. It was Odyssey. It was
Yes.
the one that CJ was like protecting, and then Angela frickin' King boosted.
Is this like
Odyssey.
the female version of Stolen Valor?
Yeah,
Yes.
it
It's
is.
exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah, we
And
pretty
mind
Very
you,
well
and-
put.
And
Yep.
Tony's lived in LA for years. I was living in El Paso, and I was like, I've actually gone underground with the cartel in certain reports. and none of this shit makes sense. And Tony and I literally off camera were like, let's just start doing our own like investigation into this one girl. She said that she was certified in hunting down child predators. She was certified with the Navy SEALs. She was certified like literally with all these certifications. And we were like, these are not real. Like, this is not real. And we came out with the podcast and we got the shit beat down on us from all of her simps. Do you remember that, Tony?
Yeah.
And they came at us and they were like, fuck you guys. And
Well, it was
fuck
about
you.
5 different accounts that came at
Yes.
us because they were all glomming onto the story, right?
Right, and they're like, she's actually going and hunting child predators, and here you find out she was a fucking bartender in Denver, Colorado,
Right.
and then doing a part-time wrestling job. And me and Tony figured it out, and we were like, and mind you, she would do Instagram lives from her car, like, yeah, I'm on my way to go get this guy. I'm about to kick in his door because he's got these kids in his basement. And me and Tony were like, who does this? Like, nobody does this. Like, have you guys, I mean, yeah, there's Law and Order Criminal Intent or Law and Order SVU, but like, even they don't, Instagram their shit.
Do you have the drop for
And
that?
we finally figured it out. I know, right? Where are those drops? But like, we were able to figure it out. We were like, these people are seriously grifting on the fear of all of these people, thinking that there's all these child predators out there. Not saying that there's not. However, there are
They're looking
people
in the
that know
wrong
exactly
place.
how to grift. Exactly. And we said, we were like, you're looking in the wrong direction. This is a grifter who's acting like, because she's got a great body and muscles, that she's kicking in doors when she's really just a bartender and a WEF semi-pro wrestler. No. And she went after
a few
me.
influencers were dicking in her doors, weren't they, Farron?
They definitely were. And and let me tell you guys, me and Tony, that's why we were like blood brothers at that point, because we're like, they're going after us. Let's go, baby. Like, they went after me saying like, oh yeah, she's a news anchor. Where is she a news anchor? And everyone was like, El Paso? Like, what?
I mean,
Like,
just look at her name, yeah.
yeah, exactly. Like, these people like get really fucking butthurt when you finally call them out on their grift. And that's what, I'm not gonna lie, Tony has done a very, very, very good job as far as calling people on their grifts, because there was another big name that we called out who was a professional heavyweight boxer who acted like he was doing the same fucking thing, and we called his ass out. It's and that's why when I saw your name show up with Eliza Bleu, I was like, no fucking way. He's doing this shit too.
Codename Window Licker. That's what we call
Well, if anyone gets mad at you for this stream, just tell them to email you at ricadalaw@ricada.
There you go.
But yeah. Yeah, so moral of the story is that Tony and I have been at this for 6 years, where we've literally come out against a lot of grifters, and we get shit, but at the same time, so like I said, like, that's why I had to bring Tony on immediately when I was like, holy shit, I know this guy, but hang on a second, what the fuck? So hats off to you, Tony, because
thanks. That means a lot coming from you, very, very much. Thank you so much. I do appreciate it. No, I'm serious. Because you've done it. You've actually done the thing, and you know, so much about how this is supposed to be done, right? How information is supposed to be presented and brought to it, and you've always been a stone cold pro as far as I'm concerned.
Well,
very
I
glad to know
appreciate
you.
What does the quartering say, Thermo?
Let's see, shall we?
Is Jeremy in the chat? Oh, okay.
No.
Can you imagine?
Okay.
The sub count would jump 10,000 immediately.
My heart,
Sorry, I got excited there for a second.
my heart
Moved
just
my boner
skipped, Tony.
over.
Thank you. Jesus.
Well, new boss, same as the old boss, apparently. Twitter still has many rules on it that are easily exploited to deplatform people that some people don't like. We saw this kind of originally and most famously with
It's
the
not very
Babylon
long.
Bee
If you higher speed it,
tweeting a
just do
joke.
1.25
I
or
think it was
1.5.
like a Man of the
Oh, don't
Year
make him
joke or
sound like
something about
Shakira
a
or
trans
Holy crap.
individual or something, if I remember correctly.
He sounds
Twitter
like
locked
he's
their
asleep
account, and
anyway.
ultimately
There we
it
go.
led
Little
to,
coffee.
I think, Elon buying Twitter.
Oh,
There was
actually,
at
no,
least
you're
one
right.
of the
He sounds like a
contributing
normal
factors
person
because
now.
it was Babylon Bee, and he liked Babylon Bee, and he seemed to get involved in that. Now,
hey, he's got to drag it out to 10 minutes for the algorithm.
I know.
Right.
Where are we at this point? What are we even talking about?
yesterday, I was made aware of another content creator, Brittany Venti, who was banned for posting a very public picture of a public individual from a public music video that was produced by World Star Hip Hop that is live on YouTube right now. Again, a public photo of a public figure from a video that is publicly available, right? None of these things would indicate that they were it was some sort of private, intimate photo. And Brittany was banned for Rule 1, violating Twitter's rules against posting or sharing, quote, privately produced, that might mean like an OF photo behind a paywall or something like that, /
Not private.
distributed intimate media, maybe like a
Listen how
bedroom photo or
careful
something
he
like
is
that,
what
whatever
he
the case may
talks.
be.
And really quick, should we
course,
preface that
this photo does
Jeremy
not-
actually is, he's not friends with Brittany Venti, but he's in the similar circles with Brittany Venti?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that would be just, at least
They're
just to-
associates.
That's fair.
They're associates.
to reference, just to be fair, just to be that we're putting the facts out there.
He came
But
on
at
to
the-
her. He came on to her YouTube. I was watching her live last night, and he came into the chat.
Right.
And, he
so,
tried.
like-
And he tried to big time me, and now he got his Twitter deleted. That'll teach y'all a lesson. Don't mess with Italians.
Never.
Never mind.
Exactly. And here Thermo is an under the earth Italian, meaning he's from Australia. But no, yeah, just to preface it though too as well, that here Jeremy, I've been on with the quartering, super nice guy. I don't ever really see him being the drama type, meaning, well, he doesn't insert himself into the drama unless he needs to, is what I'm saying. Like he most of the time tries to avoid it unless he actually sees, okay, this is
Unless
kind of
it's profitable.
fucked
Yeah,
up.
absolutely.
Right. And you'll notice that I think,
Unless there's
here's
value
my
in it.
opinion of what happened with Jeremy, is that when Brittany went on, Jeremy smelled blood in the water. Jeremy is always looking for a boost. And he needs one because he's been getting kicked in the nuts because he's been licking the taint of Elon, right? He's been trying to get some Elon in him, right? So he's been going on and doing this.
And Eliza got
catching
more
some-
of it than him.
Right, right. She at least got the Tesla. Anyhow, she, he goes into there and he says, "Oh, I'll do it. I'll boost it." And everybody's, "Thanks, Jeremy. Thanks, Jeremy. Thanks, Jeremy." Jeremy doesn't give a fuck about anybody but Jeremy. And he knows exactly what he was doing. He's experienced enough at this. He knows exactly that if he goes into her 270K account on YouTube, that a lot of people are going to see him. And now he's like the great guy because he went, okay, yeah, here's like a little pinch of salt for your act, but it's really for you, for your pockets, and for you to hit the algo and to do exactly what you know how to do. He's very
By the
experienced.
way, coffeebrandcoffee.com is where you can get his coffee, in case you guys didn't know that.
Hashtag not
he's always been an amazing grifter. He sold his previous YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Oh
Well, remember the established titles thing? Remember established titles that he did?
Yeah.
That everybody
Did
did.
he give back any of the money?
Oh God!
I mean,
Look, I don't think that's as big as. I don't
if
think
anyone
that's the
bought
biggest
that
scam as
thinking
any.
it wasn't a novelty gift, you're
Yeah.
a fucking idiot, and you
Yep.
deserve to be ripped off. A fool and his money are
the guy
soon
who
departed.
decided that was a thing. That's the only way I'm gonna fucking crucify him, unless he was the guy selling the titles. Like that's
Well, it's like okay,
fair
so
enough.
everyone is in fucking Ireland is a lord and lady then.
And so is this a larger problem? Is this a larger problem with YouTube? Because I've asked before. I've asked YouTube. I've asked Team YouTube, and I'm a freaking what do you call it? Partner in the partner program. So you ask a question. Sometimes they'll get back to you. Sometimes.
I
So
think
I asked the
think
question
Raid
like,
Shadow
is it-
Legend ads are more predatory because I mean that's
100%.
an addictive fucking video or mobile game.
Right. I mean, look, what are they vetting out these companies?
Nope.
No, they're not. YouTube does not vet out any of this stuff, and that's a shame. because
Just
you know,
look at fucking Jeffree Star,
right?
Shane Dawson, all these other people. They don't vet anybody when they're making them money
Well, they won't
until
cancel you when they complain about it.
Yeah,
exactly.
Tim's right. If
Until you
there's
jizz
the
on the cat.
slightest like squeak about you, they will drop you like it's hot. Doesn't matter how much you make them. Just
Right.
look at rackets.
Mm-hmm.
If there's enough reports, doesn't matter if you make them, $300,000 a year. They don't give a shit. They'll walk away from.
Why are people like him and people like Logan Paul? Of course, it's the money. I know this, but there's no penalty. They don't get their stuff and monetization pulled for a little bit when something like that happens. I mean, you have to do your own due diligence. You're selling something. Something. People are drinking this shit. This. You know what these are? These beans are also what's called sweeps, which is basically they do blends. And
Yep.
his supplier, I believe his supplier is Mill Creek, who lives near him. He has to go pick up the bags for Mill Creek, and he has to ship them out himself. So all this handling, all this, where these beans coming from. So they're
That's actually
sweet.
impressive.
They're called sweet bags. So here's what happens when those sweet bags go in there. Sometimes they're about a year old, and when he has a blend that he releases, and that part of the blend is not in season because coffee is seasonal. Just like any kind of fruit or berry, it is seasonal. And he has stuff in his blends from regions that are not in season from like 8 months a year ago. So he's getting sweep bags. They're sweeping it up off the floor and they're sticking his name on it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He
Told
doesn't
you,
know where they
my
come
boy
from.
Tony. My boy Tony knows his shit. That's why I bring him on.
And
He doesn't know where they come from.
Baldo makes a good point. Yeah. Remember the
you want
BetterHelp
good
thing?
coffee,
Like
that's a single source.
that was like some of the biggest YouTubers, like Philip
Right.
DeFranco. Like that was a huge scandal.
The issue is BetterHelp went mainstream.
Yeah, Philly.
I've
And
seen
YouTube didn't give a shit.
Yeah, BetterHelp ads are on mainstream now, like the mainstream TV ads. Sorry.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They're not going to give a shit about those types of predatory companies.
Yeah, I mean,
I believe just as long as it's on the bigger monetized channels, they're getting that ad revenue, right? They're getting that 30% of those super chats, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And look, half the stuff that YouTubers advertise in partnerships are also advertising on YouTube as well. So,
I mean, it would be better to just have Ron Popeil on there. All right, set it and forget it. Everything from Ron Popeil. We're going all the way back to the early '80s.
Set it and forget it.
Was that fresh on the brain because you saw Mark Dice's video the other day? Because that was
Oh
epic.
man, I'm not gonna lie. I haven't watched Mark Dice in a while. It's been a hot minute, but damn, is he really spitting facts when it comes to this whole Crowder Daily Wire bullshit.
I mean, I think he's always pretty fair and balanced.
He's super steady.
I'm sorry,
too.
what?
Weird.
He's me.
Turn of phrase, weird.
We all
I didn't
just
say
called you
Karen
pretty.
balanced.
Karen balanced.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
We can't see you now, but we know you are. So there.
Exactly. But what else does Jeremy have to say?
Meet either one of those standards, given it is literally in a fully monetized public YouTube video of a existing public figure.
He says some stupid shit.
And what's interesting to me is that this person has gone on to talk about how they are just a massive free speech advocate. Huge, just huge free
He
speech
mentions
advocate.
no names.
In
He's
fact,
so
tweeting,
soft.
quote, I
This
want
is
to
why
be
he's
crystal
still-
clear.
Still around at this point.
I'll die on the hill of free speech. The government cannot remove it. The WEF cannot remove it. Free speech is an inalienable human right, with or without both the government and the WEF. They tweeted this on
quoting
January
Eliza there,
20th,
isn't
and you
he?
might be wondering,
What is he reading off of?
what
Crayons?
this individual, might look like. I mean, I have a recent photo here.
Isn't he quoting Eliza?
And here is a recent
Oh,
photo. Now,
there he is.
this individual has appeared on Timcast IRL and has recently kind of grown to fame being
boy,
like
Jack.
the bosom buddy of Elon Musk, which is
Eliza,
extremely concerning to me.
Yeah.
Racking that
She has
piece.
white hair too.
In solidarity with a fellow content creator, you may or may not like Brittany Venti. It's not really about that. It's about riding with your fellow content creators.
Oh, really?
I decided that I would also post a picture from a publicly available YouTube video in solidarity because,
Heels above his head.
well,
No, you know
This
what he
is
thought?
wrong.
Hold on, pause it
Thinking,
for 1
well, this
second,
person
please.
wouldn't.
Here's what he thought. He thought that because Elon was boosted one of his tweets, he thinks he's Elon's buddy, so he could post a thing that Britney and not have any consequence. He didn't think he was going to get his shit suspended.
I'm
He
going to do
didn't
the
think
thing
that.
Britney did. Mm.
He thought that he was going to be immune because of his relationship with Elon.
I don't know. Maybe.
Maybe.
I mean, all his friends or like the people he surrounds himself with are women, and I feel like that just tells me everything I need to know about him.
Quartering.
Yes, he just surrounds himself with women. It's all he ever hangs out with. It's weird. In my opinion.
Are you talking about Sydney Watson as his co-host?
Yeah, they're doing a show now.
Swingers brand coffee.
Be foolish enough. Not going to be foolish enough to strike my account. I mean, this would be like one of the worst Streisand effects in history. And they did.
The worst. Listen to what
I also have been locked out of my account, and I am not deleting the tweet. So if this means I can never use Twitter again, fine. Like,
Yeah,
this isn't.
sure
This,
thing.
I'm not allowing somebody.
Yeah, it's not going to be fine. He's not going to be happy with that.
Yeah, he won't stick
You're
to
gonna-
that
you're
either.
gonna- you're
He'll
gonna
be back
delete it.
on a different
You're going to
account.
delete it. You always do.
He's
to
every time.
Abuse the rules like this. This is why it's so important to me, by the way.
This is the grandstanding.
That people join my mailing list. I have 220,000 people on Twitter that now I can't get on.
And again, as a result, we've temporarily limited your account will be restored in 12 hours. So,
yeah,
they already deleted the tweet. Twitter does it themselves.
He must not have had a good enough idea for his fourth
Wait a
video for the
second.
day or something.
I can't really see because of my
every
glasses.
time
Are
I
you telling me
suggested
that he
this
only
man-
got a 12-hour suspension?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's
yeah.
That's not
I
a thing,
quit.
is
So
it?
Thank you.
I refuse to delete
Thank
this
you.
He's already lying about what happened.
There it is. There, 12 hours.
I quit.
If it means I can never use Twitter again, you wait 12 hours, Jeremy. You'll be able to do it.
You'll be
Yeah,
fine.
you'll be fine.
Yeah.
No, they don't. That's not how it ever worked for me. They just
What's for me?
locked you out. They were
Yeah,
like,
I
oh,
got
12
locked.
hours, and then I wait 12 hours,
Mm.
and then I still couldn't use it unless I deleted my tweet.
I've heard of that
Yeah.
happening, but yeah.
And then you had to wait a little while after you delete it because they had to review
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
or something, right?
I don't know what
And
they did.
and I'll
they
bet his
just didn't let me
comeback
do it.
tweet is going to be very grandiose and very self-serving.
Very
Like he's
gay.
some kind of
Thank you,
he's got a
Elon.
weird hero complex.
It's going to involve thank you, Elon.
Thanks,
Clearly.
Elon. Yeah, great.
He's the
Pour
quarter.
water on a gremlin after
That's
fucking
what it
midnight.
is.
It sounds
I
like
wish
he
I
was
was
drinking too much of the Elon.
That's what happened.
tea.
You know, you used to think about the gremlin, but that's what happened to my Twitter account. I made a joke, and Keemstar retweeted it after I went to sleep, and
Oh,
I woke
shit.
up and I was permabanned forever.
Mm. Wow.
Well, if Keemstar looks at you, you're going to get banned. That's
Yeah,
So-
I can
so-
tell you though.
sorry, we're
backstory
wrong.
behind it.
We're wrong. It's because it was cut off. So the countdown starts once he deletes the tweet.
Oh, is that how it works?
Fuck,
Yeah.
am I yeah,
So
no,
it
yeah.
says-
So you delete it, and then
your
count
account
down
will be
happens.
fully restored to full functionality in
Yeah.
12 hours and 0 minutes.
Wow.
You can start the countdown and continue Twitter once you delete the content that violates our rules.
Yeah.
One
So
tweet.
until then, yes, you
Yeah.
are, Jeremy's actually correct.
Okay.
Yeah. Technically.
Okay.
Okay,
So
that's I didn't delete mine, and I was like,
he
why
could
the fuck am I
rework
not
the post
free?
and redact.
I didn't even
some
get
of
that
the
option.
cheeky parts,
I
guess.
just got perma yeeted.
No, well, I think fundamentally the issue was the image itself.
Yeah. He did
There's-
nothing
there's-
She
wrong.
doesn't
This
own
is
it.
the problem.
She doesn't
And
own
look-
the image. She signed a release
Exactly.
before they
Yeah.
put her on camera.
Exactly.
It's and fundamentally that's the problem. The problem is she's abusing the system. She's using
She's
Right.
false striking people.
yeah,
Which
and,
is
and
bullshit.
that will get you
That
get
is
you
grounds
Funny,
for
it's
termination.
so funny.
that will get you clipped
It'd
online.
be so funny if
you,
you did.
you will get internet clipped if you pull that shit.
Who's going to get yeeted?
Oh yes, I can confirm.
Eliza Bleu.
Hold off. You know, I've got 1.4 million people on YouTube.
Yeah,
Probably
Oh,
100
sorry, no,
fucking
not that
Jeremy.
type of clipped, Elf. Like the
Such a cunt.
the Italian clipped, the whack.
He really
Not
is,
you,
isn't he?
Elb. Sorry.
100,000 kind of like loyal, long-time viewers. My email list is only at like 10,000. I really,
Because you
really,
have
really
bots.
need. This is a perfect example.
Bots.
So please open a new window, go to thequartering.com right now while I give you all the juicy details of this.
No.
Upper right-hand corner,
What-
put your
what-
email address in.
He's
It's
like,
going to
yeah,
say,
fuck Phil, but
hey,
it's
you've
like-
entered your email address. Now you have to go check your email.
Look at what he's
Then you
doing.
just go check
He's
your
using
email,
it
and
for
you'll have
his
an email from me almost
to pump his
immediately saying,
email
please.
list.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And that's
We've never
that's
even
the,
seen
that's the
Jeremy
thing
jerk
people
off on
don't.
stream.
Normies don't understand. Mailing lists are valuable. Like if you've got a good mailing list and you have like targeted, like if you have demographic information on that list, like you can say these are all males, these are all females, these are ages 18 to 24. If you can have a demographic breakdown on your mailing list, that's worth serious coin to
You know,
other
I did a little
marketing
dive on
companies.
his
Moloch,
on his
you got it
social
right with
on his
Moloch.
Social Blade. I looked on Social Blade at his account, and it kind of looks like he's kind of like maybe buying a little, you know, on his
Almost
Social Blade.
certainly.